What is good? What is up? It's Jordan or Texans Thoughts, and I'm back with another live stream. How's everyone doing in the chat? What's good, Ryan, Matt, Percy? How y'all doing? Hope y'all had a good week. It is Thursday, August 5th, and we've had a good week of training camp and a few days now of padded training camp, so it's time to, take a quick look at the roster. So many damn moves Nick Caserio has added, so let's see who has, who's trending up, who's trending down, who's maybe staying around the same, who's been quiet, stuff like that. So we'll take a look at that in a second. First, we got to, talk about the title of this stream, and that being Deshaun Watson. And there's been a whole lot of rumors, reports, leaks, whatever you want to call it, being thrown out there. And we're going to start with this one right here. Let me share my screen for y'all and just try and get a sense of what the hell is happening. I know there's nothing on the screen. Give me a second. There we go. All right, so late last night, this man, never heard of him before in my life, Chris Trapazzo, comes out with the source. Talks are heating up between Eagles and Texans on the Deshaun Watson trade. Still some hurdles to get over, of course, but both sides attempting to come to an agreement. Came out of nowhere. We hadn't really heard too much of, direct stuff from the Eagles about interest. It always seemed like they were a little bit of interested, but nothing crazy. And so this is the first main big report singling them out. So it was interesting for sure. They got some nice pieces. But very quickly, Aaron Wilson shut it down. Aaron Wilson, one of the best Houston reporters in the biz, probably the best. He says, no trade imminent or developing at this time for Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, according to his sources. While there is interest, and teams are conducting extensive due diligence, complex legal situation, no trade clause, are all difficult factors to work through still. And so I think Aaron's got pretty good sources. And the main thing that stuck out for me on this is that he mentioned, of course, complex legal situation, everyone knows that, but also the no trade clause. And so clearly Aaron is reporting directly to that Eagles report, right? It was about a few minutes after 8:55. Okay, so it was an hour afterwards. He talks to his sources. Hour later, this is what he comes up with, right? And the fact that he mentioned no trade clause to me is very important, because Philly has always been mentioned whenever their name comes up. It's always been kind of mentioned that they're not really a team that Watson wants to go to. So that's something to think about if a Philly trade is really possible at all. He's gonna have to waive that or change his mind on that. But there's been a lot of back and forth. Let me read the chat real quick. What y'all saying? Everyone pound that like button. Yes, sir. He says bubble wrap until next year. That's what I'm saying, man. What's up, G-Rob? How you doing? Like the t-shirt. Hey, don't get it twisted, y'all. Don't get it twisted. I still believe in this. I mean, I'm just not going to fight a losing battle and waste my energy, but I still do believe in this. But anyways, what's up, Isaiah? Juan, what's good? Yeah, so I'm just doing a quick recap of the news last night recently. So we talked about the Trapazzo report. Aaron Wilson shut that shit down. And then if you see this guy, Dan Cilio on Twitter, he's verified. He's got a lot of followers. So you might think that he knows what he's talking about and has sources. But this dude is the epitome of what is wrong with, modern media, and especially in the sports industry, is that a lot of these guys will just throw shit at the wall and hope something sticks. And that one time something sticks, it looks like, oh, look, I got it right, and they're going to blow it up, right? But he threw this out there saying that looks like the Eagles have offered up 2 firsts and Devontae Smith for Watson. Now, don't get me twisted. I would love that. Ideally, you can get a little bit more, but to me, Devontae Smith is such a talent that he's actually worth like a first and probably a second. So I would take that if you had to make the trade right now, because obviously, if you're making the trade right now, you're not going to get maximum capital. But we'll talk about that later. But this isn't real. All right, Dan Cilio just spews bullshit, not real. And we got more credible sources, Benjamin Albright and Aaron Wilson, both denying these claims. Albright said, just got off the phone with Texans. Source says there's been no movement on a Watson trade. So that's kind of from the people that I trust and the people that most people in this industry trust. No trade. Eagles thing was bullshit. And so that gets me thinking, why are Dan Cilio, why are Chris Trapazzo, why are they doing this at the same time? Why now? And the timing of everything, you put everything together, the timing of Deshaun Watson not practicing, the timing of Deshaun Watson having his injury, I believe they said it's a foot and an ankle, something like that. That timing, right as padded practices start, plus these two reports now, to me, it seems like these reports are coming with a serious intention to try and drum up interest in a trade and try and tell the Dolphins, hey, look, the Eagles are interested in trading for Deshaun. Talks are heating up. They've offered X, Y, and Z. Dolphins, you better come to the table with a more serious offer. That's what it sounds like to me. That's the motivation behind those leaked reports, these false reports. What's good? Pat's in the building. We got Vinny. We got Cyanide. How y'all doing? Jason, the best. Willie Boy P, what's good? What's up, James? How's everyone doing? Sounding nice and loud today. Awesome. Glad the audio's all good. What's up, Mr. Thoughts? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Long time no see, bro. I've been busy. It's all good, man. Season starting up. Stop being busy and get into the streams. But yeah, so just the timing of the Deshaun Watson trade, man, to me, or not trade, the rumors, it's just a little too fishy for me. And so that's what the media, that's what Deshaun's camp is going to do to get what they want. It doesn't seem like Deshaun's stance has changed on wanting to play for the team, unfortunately. And so all they can really do at this point is try and play the media game. It's stuff that they've done all throughout this summer, and it looks like that's what they're going to continue to do. So I'm glad we got guys like Aaron Wilson and Benjamin Albright, and Pat Storm, of course, to weed through these reports. But let's talk about the trade timing, and then let's talk about Eagles players in general. I know I mentioned who knows if Deshaun would actually even want to go to the Eagles or waive that no trade clause, but just talking about potentially down the road, whenever it does happen, they have 2 firsts this year, so they have their own. They have the Dolphins. They have that second round pick from Indianapolis that could potentially turn into a first, but it doesn't look like it will be because of Wentz's injury. That is apparently 5 to 12 weeks. That's the timeline for recovery. So it doesn't look like that's going to transpire to a first, but when you get to trade negotiations, I'm still asking for that second, because even if there's a 1% chance that it can go to the first, like, that's still a better value than the Eagles second round pick. Getting the Colts second round pick is. And the Colts, if it doesn't transpire to a first, that means Wentz is missing hella games. That means their quarterback is who? Sam Ehlinger? Jacob Eason? They gonna be ass. So that second round pick will likely be a high second round pick and essentially a late first. So that pick still has value. Don't get it twisted. 3 valuable picks they can give you in 2022. They have all their picks in 2023. In terms of players, obviously Jalen Hurts. Reports out of training camp are a little up and down on him, but I like to give him the season to work through it anyways. The guy that I really want, apart from the rookies, Devontae Smith, Leonard Dickerson, but the guy I really want is Josh Sweat, defensive end. He's young. He put up 6 sacks last season as a rotational guy. You give him a starter's role, he's going to do great things, man. He's going to do great things. We need defense. We need valuable young players who haven't hit their upside yet, haven't hit their ceiling yet. So, yeah, those are the guys I would look at for the Eagles. Anthony says, been saying whole time he isn't getting traded this year. And that's the good thing. And we're going to get into that right now. What's up, Mr. Anderson? What's up? I'm going to butcher your name, but Chong. I'm Asian. I should know how to pronounce that, but I just don't, man. I'm too whitewashed. But it is what it is. How y'all doing? Yeah, so Anthony makes a good point. He says, been saying the whole time, Deshaun ain't getting traded this year. He ain't getting traded this year. And that is exactly what I would want, what you should want, and that is what Nick likely wants, because the timing of this trade, if it is made in the future, there's so many numerous reasons as to why you will get better return if it's made in the future. Number one, obviously, is the legal issues. If you have the legal resolutions, which right now are the main thing that's holding up this trade and causing teams to not give a full haul that Deshaun is actually worth, that's the number one reason why it's right. So if you go into the future, legal, it comes to a conclusion, guilty or innocent, at least you know how many games he's going to potentially miss, or if he's not going to miss any at all, right? So just that question mark's gone in the future. So that's why you want to wait. Secondly, you want to wait so that the draft order is set. You trade for the Eagles 2 first-round picks this year. You don't know where the Eagles are going to land up. You don't know where the Miami Dolphins are going to land. And you're giving them Deshaun Watson, so that's going to make them a better team. So it goes from whatever you think the Eagles might be, maybe they're a top 10 pick, add Deshaun Watson, at least middle of the pack, probably a borderline playoff team because the NFC East is trash. Fuck the Cowboys. So, yeah. And the other thing that kind of plays into that is you don't want to make the trade now because, like I said, you're going to give them Deshaun, and it's just going to up the trade. It's going to lower their trade values, lower the draft pick value. My goodness, I cannot speak today. But yeah, so that's why you want to wait. Been saying it for a while, and it looks like that should be the conclusion. Or not the conclusion, but the way that it goes. So I'm glad. So Sweat, Smith, Hurts, and 4 firsts. I would love that, man. I would love that. What I was saying before is that, I don't think the Eagles would trade a rookie before they even get to see them in a game. But they'd be more willing to trade a rookie at the end of the season once they see what they're about. And so Devontae Smith would definitely be number 1 on that list there. I would want Smith over Hurts. Hell, I might even want Sweat over Hurts because the reports out of training camp on Hurts are not great. He still hasn't been declared the official starter on the what team are they on? The Eagles, and he's competing with Joe Flacco. I mean, come on. I've seen some clips in training camp, and this dude is missing running backs running out into the flat. It's just not really something that's, instills confidence in you. And on the other side of this coin, the Dolphins, the main team who has been interested in Deshaun, reports out of their camp are Tua is looking much improved, completely different guy, bombing it deep. He's still got his great accuracy, and he looks like he's putting shit together. So, it's good and bad in that sense. It's good if, from the Texans sense of, wanted to trade for this good quarterback, he's still a good asset. Yeah, you're moving down from Deshaun Watson, but still Tua could be still pretty damn good. But from the other point of view, it's bad because the Dolphins might not be as desperate to go give up a haul for Deshaun Watson if they already see, hey, Tua's working for us. We already got this stacked defense. We added stuff on offense. Let's let him ride out, right? So some good and some bad there. But Beige has a question. The main question is, what do you know that we don't? The people want to know. Honestly, Beige, I don't know a lot. I don't know much more than y'all. I'm getting into the whole sources thing is really bad because, and you're seeing it now with these reports coming out that people who may have told you the truth and been right about stuff before, where they get their information from, they're getting told sometimes stories that aren't true as well. So it's sometimes not even their fault, but it's a messy game right now with how much is on the line from the Texans' perspective, from Deshaun's perspective. So I'm just trying to keep my hands off of it. I'm not trying to learn any information. I'm just film guy. I'm just watch football guy and tell y'all what I think. That's my thing. That's what I love to do. I'm not trying to get involved because I don't want to give y'all false information. And I've already given y'all false information in the past, and I apologize for that. So, yeah. All right, let's get into the main segment of the day. We're done with Deshaun talk. Milo's got a good question. What's happening with Shaq Lawson? And we're going to go through that because we are going to go through one by one the Texans roster and just look at, is this player's stock going up or is this player's stock going down? So how do I zoom in on Windows? There we go. I'm a Mac boy by heart, so I don't know. But we're just going to go one by one by the position list and talk about what I've been reading on the Texans reporters, what I've been seeing in clips, stuff like that, things that stand out to me on training camp. I wish I had the privilege of going to Texans training camp, but I am in Canada, and the border is not too friendly to Canadians right now. But yeah, I'll basically just be able to do a summary of all the information that I've been able to take in and give my thoughts on it. But we'll get to Shaq Lawson in a second. Good question, because he's definitely someone's name who I wish I was hearing more of. But let's start with DBs. Cornell Armstrong, haven't heard too much about him. I think I've read one thing where he had a nice pass breakup, but been overall pretty quiet. So I'd probably say stock around the same. Hasn't changed, hasn't gone up, hasn't gone down. Terrence Brooks, I've heard zero, zilch, nada about him. And the thing is, I don't really expect anything out of him. I mean, he's a special teams depth safety guy. He might not make the team. He's a former Patriot. I don't know, man. 29 years old. He's very good in special teams. He's probably your 5th safety if you're going to keep that many. You probably will keep that many, but haven't heard much about him. That's fine. Shaheem Carter was a guy I was hoping to hear more about. 23 out of Alabama. He's kind of this nickel safety hybrid. Haven't heard anything about him either. So, stock in the middle. Keon Crossan. Keon Crossan's a good name to bring up because he's been having some days recently. Ever since pads came on, I've been noticing his name popping up more and more. He had an interception in the most recent practice. And it's great to hear that because he's a young guy, being 25 himself. And we got to see flashes of him last season when he started a few games. I believe he started, what was it, versus the Colts. Those last 2 games where he played the Colts. And he had some good moments. One of them was the Bengals where he had his best game. I believe it was the Bengals. He had a few pass breakups. I made a film breakdown on him. So it's on my channel if you want to check it out. Oh, we got a dono. Sorry, I don't have the audio in, so I can't hear when the dono goes through. I'm sweating. Nico and Brevin Jordan, the next greats. Ooh, $5. Thank you, boy. Thank you, Willie Boy P. Appreciate you, my guy. I'm about to spark a bowl, so nobody say anything funny for my guy, Isaiah. Enjoy, my guy. Enjoy. Nick's keeping a lid on all the leaks, and the media is losing their mind because of it. Nick gonna leak what Nick wants to leak. Oh, there was one more report I forgot to bring up. But yes, Willie boy. Nico and Brevin have both been having great camps, and we'll get into that in a second. But there's one more report I wanted to show y'all. Cody Stutes, another reputable Houston media guy, quote tweeted this one about Jay Glazer, and he basically said that Glazer says the Texans are holding out hope that Watson will change his mind and play for them again, and that they're not returning calls to interested teams. So that goes along the same lines that Aaron Wilson is reporting and that Benjamin Albright is reporting, that Nick ain't having it. All right, clearly he's not happy with what the teams have brought to the table, and so he's not even returning their calls no more. And that's the fair approach to take. Wait it out. Wait till the end of the season. Get your maximal's not a word, maximum capital possible for your MVP caliber quarterback. That's the only way to do it. And I'm glad Nick's doing it right. You got to give him props for that, standing his ground, as long as he continues to do it. But yeah, I think that's all I was about to say on that. Yeah, alrighty. Let's go back to the chat. Listen to Houston Sports Radio and the sound of it. Texans tight ends are killing it. Wonder who will not make the team at that position. Yeah, man. They've been talking up Brevin, Jordan, and Pharaoh Brown a lot. Isaiah on a scale. Funny now. Oh, Isaiah's going to be tweaking by the end of it, my guy. What's good, Alpha? How you doing? Hearing Charlie Heck is progressing nicely. Yes, sir. Seems like he's been making some good improvements, which is always good to see. I wasn't very high on him out of college, but college players grow a lot once they get to the NFL. They get stronger. They get sometimes faster. And their technique usually improves. And so it seems like Heck is taking those steps. We'll talk about him in a minute, but let's go through the DBs. Keon Crossan, like I said, I think I would be very, very happy if he can be in contention for that cornerback 2 spot. I think he'll end up being our cornerback 4. He'll be competing with this guy below his name, actually, Vernon Hargreaves, who's also apparently had a very good camp. Apparently looking better under Lovie Smith's tutelage. Had some pass breakups, had a bunch of interceptions on Davis Mills. So those 2 guys are probably going to compete for cornerback 4. I think the way the depth chart sits, it's going to be Bradley Roby, cornerback 1. Opposite side is going to be Terrence Mitchell. Then you got Desmond King in the slots. Those are your first 3. And then Keon Cross and Vernon Hargreaves probably 4 and 5 in some sort of order. Both having good camps. It's easy to forget that Vernon Hargreaves is still 26. He's entering the prime of his career. Maybe he's finally figured it out. I'm not holding out for it, though, because at the end of the day, he should be cornerback 4 or 5, so it shouldn't even really matter. But reports are good for him. Reports are good. Lonnie Johnson. Love Lonnie, man. Big respect to him. Love him as a player and his work ethic, but he was on the NFL injured list, so he didn't get to go through the early parts of camp when pads weren't on. But he just returned. And quickly he's making, I don't want to say he's making a name for himself because we know who he is, but he's making noise. He got an interception today, making plays, and just the overall amount of interceptions we hear about is definitely something to be happy. Well, yeah, I'm going to say it's something to be happy about because the defense is creating more turnovers. And I know the quarterback, situation, don't got the best quarterbacks there. And usually in training camp, offenses are behind defenses, so that's what's kind of leading to that. But it's good to hear that these DBs are getting their hands on balls. Pause. That was something that Lovie Smith's kind of been known for. If there's one thing he's really known for is creating turnovers. So it's good to see it's transpiring. All right, Desmond King next on the list. Heard very good things about him. He's been sticky in the slot, and he's had to deal with some athletes, man. Desmond King is not the most athletic guy himself, but he wins with, IQ and technique. And he's had to go up against some bad matchups for him with Kiki QT and Anthony Miller, just two pure athletes in the game. And he's been holding his own. He's been looking nice, so I like that out of King. Terrence Mitchell, I've seen some clips here and there, and he looks sticky in coverage. I was a doubter. I was not a big believer of Mitchell. I think he's a pretty below average cornerback. I think he's an upgrade over what we had last year in Phillip Gaines, but not by much. But so far, he's been looking good. So good reports on him. Stock is going up for him. AJ Moore's been quiet. I don't know a whole lot about him, to be honest. Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen. It's all good. Let me read some chat. Fair to say Lovey and his scheme have been a breath of fresh air for our D. I think you could say that. I think there's also a lot of influx of more established veterans. But it'll definitely be a lot easier to tell once we get into preseason. That will be really the true test. There was a report from Aaron Wilson that Heck was a right tackle and Howard was at right guard. I think it was left guard, but yeah. I assume once Cannon comes back, he will take Heck's place, but why move Titus? Oh, we'll get into this rant in a second on original channel name. We will get into that rant in a second. We will. Once we get to tackles, let me quicken up through the DBs here. AJ Moore, he's been quiet. I wish he could build on his career and continue to improve. Every year he has a few moments in training camp, but he still ends up just being that, core special team guy and then showing that when he gets the starter snaps, he's not really living up for it. But that's okay because we got Jay Reed, we got Lonnie anyways there, so it's fine. I think AJ Moore is just going to continue to be a standout special team guy. Eric Murray, MIA. Haven't heard a single word on him, and it's probably because he's still ass. So, Eric Murray, hopefully you don't see the field, buddy. If you do, I sure hope it's at safety and not nickel cornerback because that's where you're better. Jonathan Owens, haven't heard anything about him. John Reed, oh man, I was hoping for big things out of John Reed. I was trying to hope that, he'd be a guy to improve and have that sophomore surge instead of a sophomore slump. But off the few clips that we've seen so far, I mean, Nico Collins is just toying with this dude. Just straight toying with this dude. Putting him in a spin cycle, beating him deep in the one-on-ones. And it's one-on-ones, so it's tough for a DB. It's very, very tough. But the early returns, not too great on John Reed. I'd unfortunately say his stock is down. But let's see in preseason. Man, this Cowboys-Steelers game is 3-0 at half. That's a damn soccer score. What the heck? Justin Reed. Justin Reed's had a good camp. Reports are out there saying that, he's back to his rookie ways. He's playing fast. He's playing free. And I think that's what you guys are in the chat are saying about Lovie Smith, man, having that breath of fresh air and just having that good change, that good culture, the good vibes. And Justin Reed fully healthy now. He can ball out, man. We know the talent is there. We know it's there. Just needs to stay healthy. Needs a little bit of talent around him and just not a clueless defensive coordinator. And he'll be good. Contract year, man. So it'll be really interesting. If he balls out, you have to keep Justin Reed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You let Fuller walk, whatever. You let all this other talent walk. You better keep Justin Reed. You're probably most impressive and what's the word? Can't think of the word. Most promising defender. Probably between him and Charles Omenihu. But you got to keep him, man. You got to keep him 24 years old if he balls out. Pay the man what he wants. He's a leader in the locker room. He does it all, man. Bradley Roby. I've heard some up and down things about Roby. I've heard that he started off a bit slow. And then his most recent practice, he looked a bit better, had a PBU. But I wouldn't worry about Roby too much. I think he'll be his usually dependable guy. And we talked about turnovers in Lovie Smith's system. Bradley Roby has more damn drop picks than anyone I can ever remember. Just more. So hopefully he can just stick him on his damn gloves and finish off these plays, man. He should be a beneficiary of the aggressiveness and turnover emphasis that Lovie Smith is placing. And right here, I get a notification from Bleacher Report saying Philadelphia is not rushing their quarterback one decision. Eagles are taking their time in naming their starter. I mean, Jalen Hurts ain't really impressing over Joe Flacco. Come on now, really? I'm back. What I miss? We just going through all the positions. We made it through DB, almost. Damn, Murphy, you at work? It's all good. Mike B says we need Jalen Hurts. I like him, man, from Houston. Got all the intangibles. I think he's clutch. I think he's a winner. He's got great mental toughness. He's athletic. He's got a pretty good arm. He's got to work on his pocket presence and his accuracy, but I like Hurts. Willie Boy P with another 299. And he says this defense will be winning the turnover battles. That's what's going to be huge. I mean, we know the offense, if it's not a Deshaun-led offense, it's probably not going to be that good. Just being honest with ourselves. But the way you supplement that is with turnovers, giving them good field position, letting you not have to focus solely on throwing the ball so much from down in your own end and just those long drives. It allows you to play more of a balanced game, in my opinion. Charles, Reed, and Zach are the most promising. I agree with you, Milo. Those are probably the top three for sure. Sinus says, pay him. We can sell Calvin McNair for a chicken nugget. If that, man. If that. Ooh. Is Flacco elite, though? Flacco washed, my guy. Flacco washed. Isaiah's at the level of Funyuns, bro. Enjoy, my dude. Alrighty. Let's keep it moving. Tremont Smith, Javier Thomas. I don't think they even gonna make the team. Haven't heard nothing out of them. Big Z, Azuya Alufai. Alufohai? I apologize, Big Z, but I'm gonna go with Big Z. I've heard a couple good things out of him. But Roy Lopez is honestly the defensive lineman who's been standing out a little bit more. So good for Roy. Late round pick for us. I'm not sure if he gets a huge role just because I think Brandon Dunn's going to start. I think Jaleel Johnson's better than him. But it's great to see that he's showing flashes. I think next year is when we're really, really going to see those get put to use because he'll get the snaps to show it off. Ross Blacklock, though, man. Ross Blacklock was probably the star of week 1 before the pads came on. Every single day you hear this guy's name, and he gave a great presser, had a lot of great quotes. I wrote about it up on TexansUnfiltered.com. Definitely go check it out. But this system is looking to benefit him. He's trimmed down 10 pounds. He can play faster. The mental side of the game is slowing down for him, so he can just react instinctively instead of thinking so much. And that, combined with this scheme, allowing him to just play fast and get upfield and not worry about two-gapping and gap control principles, it looks like Ross could really be a breakout player for us on defense. And we need it, man. We need it. We need that monster in the trenches. The guy who, if you watch his TCU tape, if you watch the video I broke down on him on the channel, I mean, this guy is explosive. He's athletic. You don't see defensive tackles move like him that often. And he makes plays in the backfield, tackle for losses, just causing disruption in run defense. And so that's exactly what we need. I think he's going to fight for that starter spot at 3-tech in our 4-3. He's going to probably fight with Malik Collins, who is the next guy to discuss, and he has been doing good things in camp as well. He had a nasty spin move lined up over the right guard. I don't remember who he beat, but it was nasty for the sack. That's his patented move, man. If you watch the video I made on him, spin move is his money move. So I'm loving that he's showing his potential as well. He should do better in Lovie Smith's scheme as well. Everything I said about Blacklock and how it suits his skill set about Lovie's scheme, exact same thing with Malik Collins. Play fast, simplify everything. Just go get after the ball, man. Brandon Dunn, I've heard some up and down things about him. He started off quiet, but once the pads came on, John Harris was writing about him and very happy about his progression. And I, in my video on him and on the Texans, competition battles, I talked about Dunn, and I talked about how this scheme could also benefit him better because he doesn't have to be a pure nose tackle. And so I think he's definitely going to be the penciled in starter. Him and either Blacklock or Collins are your DTs. All right, let's look at chats. Tremont Smith ran a 4.37. Well, he quiet as hell in training camp. Roy, my boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alrighty. Let's keep it going. Jonathan Grenard has had some good moments, some good flashes getting after the quarterback. He's one of the main guys who are also going to benefit from a scheme change, just purely going from a 3-4 to a 4-3. Instead of being an outside linebacker, gets to be a defensive end. Doesn't have to worry so much about coverage, about different stances, about reading different keys in different scenarios. It again simplifies his role, makes him think less and react more, and he'll be better for it, man. Hope to see a big jump for him. I think he'll be in contention for that defensive end starter role, but we'll see, because the guy right below his name, Jordan Jenkins, has been having an even better camp. His stock is definitely up, probably in the top, like, out of this entire team, he's probably top 5 in terms of stock up, guys. I keep seeing his name popping up, keep seeing good plays happening, whether it's in the run game, blowing shit up, taking on tight ends in the backfield to disrupt the run game, and he's getting after it in the pass game too. Most of our tackles are looking damn good in pass pro, but whenever there's a little slip up, it always seems to be Jordan Jenkins' name. And I talked about it. I made a video on him about how he could be one of the comeback players of the year, coming off injury. And it looks like it's transpiring, my guy. He's got great technique, good athlete, powerful. He's got just a good all-around skill set. And so I think, I'm excited for him, man. I'm excited for him for sure. All right, more D-line. Jaleel Johnson's been quiet. I'm going to say stock neutral. Haven't heard really much about him, but I don't really expect him to play a big role anyways. Shaq Lawson, and someone asked about it earlier. I haven't heard one damn report about Shaq Lawson. He's been MIA. Last year I called Whitney Merciless MIA, because he was. And so far, Shaq Lawson is winning that award. And it's horrible to hear, because he was one of the guys I was really, really high on when we made that trade for him. He's not going to wow anybody with his athleticism. I don't think he's going to put up double-digit sacks. But he's just a very, very strong and stout run defender. And he can collapse the pocket when he's rushing the quarterback. So I was expecting to hear a little bit more out of Lawson, but maybe he's just knocking the rust off and he'll start heating things up next week and in preseason. I hope so, man. I hope so. Big boy Roy, we talked about him. He's flashing some things. Past 2 days, ever since pads came on, he's been showing out. And that's the most important days for defensive linemen. Once those pads come on, man, that's when you really prove yourself. So loving the good things out of him. Martin, I've counted. He's had 3 sacks so far. That's been reported. So that's pretty good. That's on the higher end of the guys. We know who he is. He's the damn GOAT. Give him his snaps he deserves, and he's going to put up sack numbers, my guy. Merciless, same thing with Lawson. I've heard nothing out of Merciless. Early reports when training camp started was that he was in great shape. Ever since the pad came on, he's still MIA, man. And I don't expect him to be found anytime soon, to be quite honest with you. And that's okay. And that's okay, because this boy right here, I talked about Jordan Jenkins being in the top 5 of stock up guys. Charles Omenihu is damn number 1. He's damn number 1. He's having an amazing camp. He is killing it. He's playing defensive end. He's moving inside to defensive tackle. They like his versatility. And he's manhandling pretty much every tackle that he's going up against. That's what the reports are saying. And I love to hear it, because he's a special blend of athlete, man. He's quick for his size. He's got super long arms. He's powerful. He can get the hell after the quarterback. And so his ability to apply pressure, man, you always need it. You always need it. So I'm excited for him. I think by the sounds of it, he's going to start at defensive end. That's what it sounds like. So I'm very excited for Charles. I think he might be my guy for breakout play of the year. And I said Titus before, but that was before they were moving him around. And we'll get to that in a second. But let me finish with the D-line, and I'll go read chat. Derek Rivers had a sack this past practice. I actually didn't mind his tape out of New England. 6'5", 250. He's got great size. Got pretty decent athleticism for his size. So let's see what he's got in preseason. But I think stock is up. I wasn't expecting anything out of him, but he's had a sack. So in the 2 days with Pats, so that's good. Vincent Taylor, I see his name thrown around there every now and often, but I feel like his stock's pretty stagnant. DeMarcus Walker, haven't heard much about him. All right, let's get to the chats. Let's see what y'all saying. Talk about the god Alex Erickson. We'll get to wide receivers. Wide receivers should be last on the thing. Jack says, I hate Deshaun now. Oh, my Lord. What's good, Jay? How you doing? How you doing, my guy? I'm sweating, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see, but I'm sweating because it is hot as hell in my room. My window's open, but it just don't matter. It's hot. Especially with these damn lights shining on my ass. Whew. Alrighty, let me keep reading chat. Charles has shown a lot of talent in his time since we drafted him. Exactly, man. I like Charles over the line. Yep. The thing with Charles is that he's good in both spots. I mean, I'll talk about versatility in a second, but he's genuinely very good in both spots. I like him on the inside a lot, and he's having a great camp on the edge as well. Better start, yes sir, Slim. Jordan says, looks like the Lovey system is suiting a lot of our players, but in my opinion, is it a good system the way NFL offenses operate lately? Can it be successful? I've been wanting to make a video about this and what it will take for Lovie Smith's system to be successful, but all 22, where I get my film, has been down, so I haven't been able to do that. Yes, you're absolutely right. It fits a lot of our players' skill sets better. If he is going to continue to be hard-headed and adamant about his Tampa 2 defense, it's not a good look. It's not, because teams figured out how to beat that defense 10 years ago. That's why he was out of the league. That's why he had to go to college in the first place, right? So he needs to get with the times and adapt to modern offenses and see what modern defenses are doing, which is giving lighter boxes to invite the run, which is playing out of 2 high shells but rotating and giving different looks pre and post snap, which is using simulated pressures so that you don't have to blitz and you don't have to lose your, what's the word? I don't know. You can still have balanced coverage and pass rush, stuff like that. And if all that happens, then I think it can be a successful defensive scheme. But it's a lot to ask out of an old guy. It's a lot to ask. Matt's been on the money. He says he's been predicting Charles be the breakout player. Yes, sir. Murphy says, random question. With everything that Castro has done with the team, all the additions and the improved defense, why would Houston not be the best chance for Deshaun to win now? I would argue Miami has a better overall roster, but there's no doubt that Nick has absolutely improved the team from last year. I think there's too much off the field stuff regarding Deshaun and his thoughts on this team and the situation that he's gotten himself into. I think there's too much off the field stuff for him to even consider coming back, and so that's why he hasn't so far. Integrity. There you go, Slim. Thank you. That was exactly the word I was looking for. Jay says it right, man. Time to invest in that AC. That's the dumb thing about Vancouver is majority of houses don't got AC. You gotta be living up in the hills for that shit. Man. All right, let's keep going. Miami doesn't have J. Kamara. That's true, Toby. That is true. They don't got the GOAT. How could you leave the GOAT, man? Come on, Deshaun. Hashtag play with the GOATs. Lovey said he's not stuck in the Tampa 2 defense. Yeah, I don't take a whole lot away from coaches' pressers and Nick Caserio pressers because they're trained to say the right things. They go through PR training. They know what to say. They've been in the league for so many years. They know what the media wants to hear. They know what fans are going to eat up. And a perfect example of that is Anthony Weaver last year. Perfect example of that is Anthony Weaver last year. I remember in training camp, man. Weeb family, yes sir, Slim. I remember in training camp last year, Anthony Weaver said all the right things. He had me excited. He had majority of Texans fans excited. He was saying, we're going to put players in positions to play to their strengths. We're going to play fast. We're going to play aggressive. We're going to go after the quarterback. We're going to be exotic. We're going to blitz more. We're going to switch things up. And we saw pretty much a Romeo Crennel defense. Now, in my mind, I think he might have still been a little bit handicapped by Romeo Crennel being the assistant coach and wanted to call the defense a little bit. But coaches will say one thing and another thing will happen. So I don't really care about the words. I just want to follow the actions, see what actually happens out there on the field. But I hear what you're saying, man. He's definitely saying the right things. Yes, sir, Jay. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free. Helps me out. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. At 100 viewers. Let's go. 100 viewers, but only 30 likes. Come on, y'all. It's free. It don't cost nothing. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Got weekly streams. And we'll have weekly breakdowns once games start. Eric Marquez says, bro, have you ever played football? I'm so impressed with your football knowledge. Thank you, my guy. I played high school ball, but I stopped playing because of injuries. But it is what it is. But thank you, man. I just love the game. I love learning about the game. I don't know it all. I don't pretend to know it all, but I just love learning more about the game. This game is still 3-0. This game boring as fuck. All right. Fuck the Cowgirls. All right, let's keep it going. Danny Isidora, haven't heard much about him because he just got signed. Fairbairn, haven't heard anything about him. Zach Cunningham's been a name that's been quiet for me. I haven't really heard his name pop up in the reports and articles that I've been seeing. But I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll be Zach. Tate Davis, haven't heard nothing about him. Cam McGruder-Hill, I've heard some good reports about him. I heard that he had an interception. He had a nice tackle for loss. He's one of those athletic guys. He's going to be mainly a special teamer, but he's a depth linebacker. I think he'll be fine in that role. Neville Hewitt was a guy people were talking up because he had like 100 tackles with the Jets last year. He's been pretty quiet. I don't think he's going to get many snaps because you got Kirksey, you got Zach, you got Kevin Pierre-Louis, you got Joe Thomas, who are all better than him in my opinion. Kirksey has been taking over the BMAC role. The BMAC role. He's our Mike linebacker. He's our run stuffer, hard-nosed guy, physical guy. And the most important thing is that he's had the role of communicating for the defense. He's putting guys in their place, telling them where to be. And so that's very impressive for a guy who's just learning this Lovie Smith system. But yeah, look out for him to be that BMAC role guy, that leader on the defense, that communicator. Hardy Nickerson, nada on him. I don't know if he'll make the team, to be honest. Kevin Pierre-Louis and Joe Thomas, those are both guys who have heard their athleticism is really shining through, and that's exactly what I thought when I made my video on them. These guys are fast. These guys are built like safeties, like strong safeties, and they play like it too because they're flying sideline to sideline, man. They really are. That's the new brand of Lovie Smith linebacker, of Nick Caserio linebacker. Smaller guys, lighter guys, worse in run defense, but a lot better in pass coverage, man. So I'm glad that they're living up to their bill. Garrett Wallow, haven't heard too much about him. I've heard some good plays, heard some bad plays about even on that end, so that's okay. I'm not too high on him. I'm not really expecting anything out of him, and we've gotten better from Roy, from Nico, so that rookie class is alright. Mitchell Fabroni, you best not make this team over John Weeks. You best not dethrone the legend. The GOAT before the GOAT. Weeks should win that. O-line, let me read chat and we'll go over O-line. There's a lot to talk about with O-line. Do you think the Texans should carry 4 running backs or 3? I think 4 is pretty usual. I think you're definitely going to have 3. You're definitely going to have Philip Lindsay, David Johnson, and Mark Ingram. And then... Is the audio good? I saw earlier in chat it was fine, but my apologies if it's bad. Yeah, I think you keep 4. Obviously, those 3 guys I mentioned, and then it's going to be between Buddy Howell and Scotty Phillips, and it's pretty much going to be who's best at special teams, which so far has been Buddy Howell, but I'm a big Scotty Phillips believer, man. So in my opinion, what should happen is Scotty Phillips gets the role. What will happen is probably Buddy Howell. It's Crazy Football's back, baby. Let's go. You a Browns fan and you're complaining about my audio? Get the fuck out of here. You heard anything about Lawson? Nah, man. He's been quiet as fuck. Not what I like to hear, but Jordan Jenkins has been nice and Charles Omenu has been nice, so they should be able to supplement for it. O-line or O-line? Beige. We gonna talk about the O-line, man. What about Rex? I don't think Rex makes it. Maybe he's better at special teams than Buddy, but I think Buddy got it, man. Let's talk about the O-line. Man. Let's talk about Justin Britt. We'll start with him. First on our list. Oh, share my screen so y'all can know what I'm looking at. There we go. Justin Britt seems to have cemented himself as the starter. We're going to talk about how the offensive line has been shuffling around, particularly at 2 spots, but left tackle and center are definitely not even penciled in, right in permanent marker. It's Tunsil and it's Britt, barring any injuries. And I'm fine with that. I think getting a veteran like Britt will be good to help stabilize the guys who are beside him, whether that is Sharping at left guard or Titus at left guard. And what's his face is getting some right guard snaps. Someone who's young, I forget. But yeah, Britt's fine there. I haven't heard anything amazing about him. He hasn't been like a standout, but he's definitely the starter. Froholt, I've heard some bad things about him, so I don't know that he'll even make the team. Carson Green, haven't heard anything about him. He's one of the UDFA guys. I like the other Texas A&M guy a little bit better, Ryan McCollum. Oh no, I did not mean to click on that. But they both have an uphill battle at making this team. Let me go back to the positions. O-line. All right. Charlie Heck. Charlie Heck has been the man of the hour the past 2 days, ever since pads came on. And he's been getting the right tackle snaps with Marcus Cannon out and with Titus Howard moving back and forth between right tackle and left guard. And I guess we'll get into that part right now. But what I've been told and what I've been told by people who are there is that the snaps roughly are like 60-40 right tackle to left guard for Titus, maybe 70-30. Like, he's still primarily playing right tackle, but they are throwing him in there at left guard. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I've preached about this a lot, so I don't want to go into too much of a rant. But Titus Howard is a hell of a right tackle, man. Hell of a right tackle. He has gone up against a gauntlet of pass rushers last year and proved himself well. I mean, TJ Watt, Yannick Ngakoue, Myles Garrett. Who's the other guy on the not Bud Dupree? Who's the other guy on the Ravens? I can't think of the other guy. Matt Judon. Whole lot of guys in the first 8 weeks, and he was doing damn well. At right tackle. And so I just don't get moving him, man. Why mess up his development, potentially? Especially when right tackle is more valuable than left guard. I just don't get it, man. And they already made this mistake early in his career when they tried him out at left guard before, and that was a position that he had never played. And so that's likely to stunt your development. And now you're doing it again, going into year 3. I mean, it just makes no sense, man. I thought that was a Devlin thing. Clearly it's not. Clearly that's coming from somewhere else. But yeah, man. That's why I'm a little frustrated with the O-line. I think it's just easy. Just keep Titus at tackle. When Cannon is healthy, play him at guard. That's both of their best positions. So play him there. But I am happy to hear that Charlie Heck is improving. And he's looking better. This dude's big. 6'8". He's a bit light in the pocket. 3'11". But it seems like he's gotten stronger. That's what the reports are. So, hey, let's see when preseason comes, man. Let's see if Charlie Heck can turn me into a believer. Rod Johnson's a name I have not seen come up very often. Neither is Ryan McCollum. Justin McCray was initially getting some starts at right guard, but it seems like he's kind of losing those a little bit. When Titus plays left guard, it's been Sharping at right guard. So I think Sharping has an inside track at least at one of those guard spots. Hopefully it's left guard, but we'll see. Jordan Steckler, not impressing. Cole Toner, not impressing. Laramie Tunsil, been Laramie Tunsil. Doing Laramie Tunsil things. So that's good. Let's go back. What's good? Hasnan. Beige says, think Britt is going to bring some aggression to the line. I'm going to go with him there. Hex mustache or something. I knew Cannon was shot when we signed him. He's old, man. He's had a lot of injury history. Judon. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. I'm bad with names, man. Houston Texans 2020 schedule. Let me do this properly, because I was having a little brain fart. How do I do this? No, that's 2021. 2020 Houston Texans schedule. Okay, this was last year. Okay, this is Titus Howard's gauntlet of guys that he went up against. Kansas City Chiefs, Frank Clark. He did well. He held his own. I think he allowed 1 sack. It was first game of the season. It was 1 sack. Baltimore Ravens, he allowed no sacks. Steelers allowed no sacks. Vikings allowed no sacks. Then against the Jaguars with Kayvon Chasen and Josh Allen, he held his own there too. Titans, you got Harold Landry, Javion Clowney. That's fine. He not great competition, but he did good. Again, Packers, Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, no sacks allowed. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. That's a gauntlet of pass rushers to go up against. And he did damn well. So I don't know what more you want him to do at right tackle to prove himself. Yes, he has some improvements to make, particularly regarding run blocking. But that's going to be there whether you're at guard or tackle anyways. And the stuff that that hurts his run blocking is going to be even more evident at guard. At guard, you got to have better pad level. And you got to be nasty. And his pad level is what's really hurting his run blocking. So, I don't know, man. I need Max to win that left guard spot. I need it too, man. I need it too. I need Titus at right tackle. I need Max at left guard. You can throw Cannon in at right guard. I know people were saying, oh, they're not going to pay a backup that much money. Fine. Start him at right guard. I'm fine with that. All right. Let's keep it moving, though. Cam Johnston, he should be the punter. I don't believe we have another punter. Quarterback time. Well, we have learned that Jeff Driscoll ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. I mean, he's throwing so many picks, not having a good year, or a good camp, sorry. So I don't expect anything out of him anyways. We'll talk Tyrod, and then we'll talk Davis Mills. Tyrod's been pretty solid. He's been what you would expect out of Tyrod. Dependable in the short and intermediate areas. Really likes to feed his tight ends. Has good chemistry there. Deep ball, a little more inconsistent. But he's Tyrod. You know what you're getting out of him. So I'm fine with him there. Davis Mills, man. The man that most people care about and want to talk about. I mean, y'all know, if you've been keeping up with me, y'all know my thoughts on Davis Mills. Wasn't my favorite pick. Didn't like his college tape. Thought he was very inexperienced. And was definitely going to need a year to sit. And we're seeing not the best camp. He early on had multiple days where he had multiple picks. It sounds like he's rebounded a little bit and had some good days. That's what Coach Cully said. But also, like I said earlier, they go and tell you what you want to hear. And Cully's going to put those quotes out there so that he doesn't kill Mills' confidence. What is he supposed to say? Oh, yeah, Mills had a bad day. He looks like a rookie out there. Like, no, he's not going to say that. Of course he's going to say he rebounded. Of course he's going to try and keep his spirits up. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to wait and see until preseason comes out and we get to really see what he's about, man. What he's about. Because a young guy, third-round pick, how many rookie third-round picks actually look good in training camp? It's not a lot. Especially not ones who only had, 14 collegiate starts? I mean, this guy's a baby. You're throwing a baby out there, man. Of course he's going to look bad. The speed of the game is too much for him. He's inexperienced. And he's throwing picks. He's throwing picks to Vernon Dam Hargraves, man. To Vernon Dam Hargraves. He's making Vernon Dam Hargraves look like a Hall of Famer in training camp. That's when you know it's not looking good. But it's okay. Expectation should have never been for him to play this year and play well this year. Maybe you want to throw him in the last 2-3 games when he shows that he's ready. But development, especially for quarterbacks, is not linear. And it's very different for everyone. I mean, it's really easy to forget that Deshaun was not good early on in training camp as a rookie. He had his bad moments. He had his lows. Patrick Mahomes had to sit a whole year. All right? Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts, they're looking bad as rookies. Rookie quarterbacks don't look good very often. You need to give them time. You need to have patience, especially for a third rounder. So that's going to be my spiel on Davis Mills. Case Keenum. Davis Mills will be a surprise for sure. Do I like Hurts, Liam? I like him. I like his intangibles. I like his mental toughness. I like his clutch factor. I think he's a winner. I think he had a horrible situation in Philly that made him look worse than he actually is. But so far, reports out of camp have been up and down on him, and they still haven't named him the defiant starter yet. So he's not really taking the clear jump that you'd like to see that Tua Tagovailoa reportedly has been taking. So I don't know what to think about Hurts, man. I was higher on him than Tua at first, but I don't know that he's the answer. I can't tell you that for sure. Thanks for keeping it real, Jordan. Hey, I got you, man. I got you. I am never going to spew bullshit and tell you guys what you want to hear. I'm going to just give y'all my thoughts, whether it's good things on a player, whether it's bad things on a player. I'm going to try and keep it real. VH the third is still better than Aaron Colvin. Hey, that's facts right there. Aaron Colvin fell the fuck off. Woo. He wants to go to Miami. Dolphins, that's who the trade request is for. Seems like it. Seems like that's what we've been hearing all summer. Titus would see more injuries in the guard spot, and he tends to get stingers fairly often already. He doesn't move his feet well enough to avoid getting his ankles rolled. Far higher chance of injury. That's a good observation, Chris. That's a good observation. He definitely would get rolled up on a lot in the middle of the trenches. A lot. Alrighty. Trevor Lawrence looks good, lol. I heard Trevor Lawrence looked bad. I heard Trevor Lawrence had a 3 interception day. Wonder how Joe Burrow will be this year. What's that back car? It's been a minute. Apparently Joe Burrow's having a bad camp too. Apparently his offensive line is so trash and he's been having a bad camp. Is Davis Mills injury prone? I like the mobility he has at a size and can help him when a play breaks down. He had some major knee injury. I think it was early on in college or his late high school, but I wouldn't say that he's injury prone. I think Hurts looked better last year because anyone can look better than Wentz was playing last year. Yeah, he definitely looked better than Wentz, but he also just didn't have many good games. I mean, I'll bring up his stats right now. Purely box score, which obviously is not a great way to look at especially a quarterback, but with him, it translates to the film as well. He had some very, very iffy games. I mean, his average... Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. His average completion percentage was 52%. And he had some real stinkers. I mean, 35% here in his last game versus Washington, 41% versus Green Bay. Now, those are two good defenses, and against some worse defenses, he had some better games, but even then, it's mid 50% completion percentage, high passing attempts. He had a good 3 touchdown game versus Arizona. Arizona's defense is ass. But 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Took 13 sacks. That was the main thing that I noticed when I watched his film. I believe I watched Green Bay and I watched New Orleans. Yeah, I watched Green Bay and I watched New Orleans. He just runs into sacks, man. His pocket presence wasn't there. And I don't want to blame that fully on him, on Jalen Hurts, because his O-line was horrible. It was so decimated, so injured, that they were losing battles very, very quickly, and so Hurts will be escaping the pocket before he really needs to and just kind of running into sacks himself. But that's definitely, I think, number 1 on the list of what he needs to improve. That and just overall accuracy. But quarterbacks usually don't get much more accurate as they're in the league. Where was I going with this? All right, back to chat. Minshew's better. Maybe. But I think Minshew's ceiling ain't like Hurts. Man, I'm so excited for the season start. Me too, the best. Me too. I just want to watch football, man. Hurts looked like a mix of Keenum in our 2-14 year and Tebow during his crazy run. To me, that's a lot. That are some low lows and some high highs, my guy, Jay. God damn. But I agree. I agree. He was so inconsistent. Insanely inconsistent. All right. Unoriginal channel name says, I think Mills will be our Minshew. Play for us for 3-ish years before we draft another quarterback. Don't think we use one of the Deshaun picks on a quarterback. It's so early to tell, man. A year can really do a whole lot. So much. So we'll see. It is a weak quarterback class in 2022, and it's a strong defense class in terms of Kayvon Thibodeau, defensive end out of Oregon, and Derek Stingley, cornerback out of LSU. Those guys are stud guys, so we'll see. We'll see. We got a lot of time to decipher that sort of stuff. All right. Sharing the screen. Back to the depth chart. We're running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers, and I believe we're done. I believe that's it. Yes, sir. All right, running backs. Rex Burkhead, he's Rex Burkhead. I mean, he's not going to play a big role on offense. He's not going to get a split of the carries, but he's going to do special team things. And he could be your third down back if a guy like David Johnson gets injured. Do I think he makes the team? I kind of don't think so. I think Hilliard is going to get it. So I've heard some better things about him. I've seen his name pop up a little bit more, and he's 5 years younger. And so I hope they prioritize the younger guy. But we'll see. We'll see. How many Patriots will Nick Caserio keep? It'll be funny. Mark Ingram, love him. He's been Mark Ingram. I mean, I don't think he's going to have like a crazy resurgent year. He's 31 years old, but he's going to play his role. He's going to be that short yardage guy, that goal line guy, get the tough yards. And his impact is really just going to be felt more in the culture, more in the locker room. He was one of the best guys at that in the Ravens, and that's why Cully wanted him here, man. David Johnson. I genuinely do not know what to think about this guy because I've heard nothing about him in camp. Pretty much nothing. And he seems very motivated to have a bounce back year. He had a good end of the season when we had some better run blocking and we were playing worse defenses. But I'm not really holding out hope that he returns to his, prime David Johnson, those 2 years that he had where he was just insane. Not really holding out hope on that too much. As long as they kind of limit his role and make him more of that third down receiving back guy, I think that's where we're going to see the most out of him. That's where he looked good last year. Keep it up. Because you want to give most of your carries to Phillip Lindsay. And Phillip Lindsay, new guy in the room, and he's looked good, man. He's looking athletic. He's a very slippery running back, very athletic. And I think he gives you that juice, that big playability that we've kind of lacked. And we had guys like that with Lamar Miller, but we never had the offensive line to pave holes for him. And he was utilized horribly by Bill O'Brien. So hopefully Tim Kelly can utilize Phillip Lindsay better. I think he fits some of the power concepts that we should look to run a little bit more that I've talked about all year. And I like Phillip Lindsay, man. Stock is up on him for sure. Scotty Phillips is my dark horse in this running back room. I've loved him out of Ole Miss. Going into his second year now. Let's see. I've heard a few good things, but he's been relatively quiet. It's not like he's having a breakout, standout camp or anything, but he's had some good plays here and there. I don't know if he's going to make the roster. I really don't. I think it's going to be Buddy Howell or Rex Burkhead over him, just because you don't hear anything about Scotty Phillips doing special team work. And you already got 3 running backs ahead of him in David Johnson, Mark Ingram, and Phillip Lindsay. So it's just going to be tough for him. Ooh, all right, tight ends. Let's check chat. I think the running back room is greatly improved. I think it has the case for the most improved position. I think it does. It definitely has a case for it. Give me your D-line starts. Charles at defensive end. Probably the left side. 3-tech defensive tackle is going to be Ross Blacklock. 1-tech, Brandon Dunn. And the other defensive end, I don't see how it's not Whitney Merciless. I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. Talent-wise, it should absolutely be Shaq Lawson, Jordan Jenkins, John Grenard, Jacob Martin. But what Merciless means to this team as a veteran leader, that's the point of view I think the coaches are going to take. And that's why I think he's going to start. The money he's being paid, with what he means to the team, I think he'll get that start. That's my D-line start. Don says, I'm an Alabama grad, and while Jalen Hurts improved this season, he was behind Tua and in his year at Oklahoma. I'm skeptical about him as an NFL quarterback. I'm much higher on Tua and Mac Jones. I mean, you're an Alabama grad. Of course you are. No, I forgot that he went to Alabama as well. Yeah, I think the reports are that Tua's been better so far. I don't know about Mac Jones being better than Hurts, just because mobility is so important nowadays, but I hear where you're coming from, man. Merciless was awful last season. He was MIA. One of our worst players on defense, absolutely. But I don't know, man. I just got a bad feeling about it. I hope I'm wrong. All right, let's get to the tight ends, and that is one of the position groups that has been really shining and really competing. And there's so many guys here, man. Holy, there's a lot of tight ends. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tight ends. 7 tight ends. Usually teams will keep 3, 4, 3 or 4. I think this team will take 4, maybe even 5, potentially. But let's talk about who's definitely going to make it. Jordan Akins, Pharaoh Brown, and Brevin Jordan. Because those guys' names have been popping up a lot. We know the flashes with Akins. We've seen it time and time again. It's been looking good. He just needs to be consistent, man. That's all it really is. He just needs to be damn consistent. Hopefully this is the year to put it all together. 4th year. He's 29 years old now, man. It's now or never. Contract year. He's got to put up or shut up. And I hope he can put it up, man. He should be tight end 1. He's just hard to guard, man. He's just hard to guard, and that has continued. He seemed to have a very good chemistry with Tyrod Taylor, and I expect that to continue throughout the season. Anthony Auclair is someone who, big dude, good blocker, but I've heard 0 out of him in camp. 0. Pharaoh Brown's had some good moments here and there, but it looks like he's going to be maybe unseated by Brevin Jordan, man. Brevin Jordan's had a good camp. And now he's very similar to Jordan Akins, and I think he's going to take the throne away from Jordan Akins, the tight end 1 next year. But Brevin Jordan's athleticism has been showing out. He's getting open easily. He's just making plays. Now he's dealing with a few drops here and there, but that's something we knew out of college, if you follow my scouting. So hopefully he can clean that up, but he's definitely impressing for a young tight end. Rookie tight ends usually take a long time to develop. They usually don't look good in their first year. That's the one position. That and cornerback, they usually never look good. So it's very, very promising to hear that he's looking good in training camp. Ryan Izzo is a guy traded for out of from the Pats. I didn't mind his tape. He had some good moments as a blocker. He looks kind of small. I mean, he's got good size at 6'5", 255, like listed wise, but on the film, he just looks kind of small and kind of light. So I'm not expecting too much out of him. I think your main guys are going to be Akins, Brown, and Brevin. But if Brown goes down, Izzo's your next best blocker. Questenberry, I don't think he's making the team. Kahale, I don't think he's making the team either, man. I don't think so. It's been 3 years now of him looking good before pads come on. Rocked up body, built well, athletic. Pads come on, he can't do shit versus contact. Can't do shit. And it is what it is. He was always an upside play, a boom or bust guy. Why did my camera just go out? What in the hell? Why did my camera just go out? Can y'all still hear me? It might be too hot in my room. My camera's just burnt. Oh, it's on fire. I hope y'all can still hear me. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh my lord, it's hot. Yeah, we can hear you. Alright, we're good. Thank y'all for that. Where was I going with it? Kahale, yeah, I don't think he's making the team, man. I think it's going to be Akins, Brevin, Pharaoh, Izzo, and then maybe they take a 5th. Maybe it's Auclair. But, yeah, man. Waring hasn't been good. He'd have to have a real good next week leading up to this preseason game and look real good in preseason. All right, last position group. It is the wide receivers. I've been waiting for this one because it's one of the most fun competitions to watch in training camp. You get to see a lot of them, pads or not. And there's a reason Nico number 1 on this list, man. Houston Texans official website knows what's up because he's been the star of camp. He really, really has been. Especially before pads came on. I mean, he was making highlight reel plays every single day, burning cornerbacks in one-on-one. I mean, he just shows that you need to send safety help his way when he's on the field. He's too big. He's too fast. And he's a good route runner too. He knows how to use his hands well to get open and to finish plays. He's just burning guys, man. And you guys know I love the Nico Collins pick. I thought he was a steal in the 3rd. I think if he played in college football in 2020 instead of opting out because of COVID, Probably would have been a late first, early second type of guy. So I'm really glad he was able to fall to us, man. Really, really glad. I think he's the future. He's definitely the future. He needs number 4 back, though. Or he needs 84 or 4 back. 12 ain't it. 12 ain't it. Can we talk about that? 12 ain't it. 12 is ugly. 12 is ugly on a wide receiver. Get 84. Who was it again? Freaking Jordan Vesey stole 84. Come on now. Get him out of here. Go back to 84. Brandon Cook's been doing Brandon Cook's things. He's been getting open. Good route runner. That's been the early reports out of him. And that's what you should expect. Brandon Cooks is a vet. He's going to take care of business. He's always been underrated. And he should have a good season this year. Isaiah Coulter, I wish I was hearing more good things about him. I believe he had 1 touchdown early without pads, but he's kind of quieted off as of late. Not so sure that he makes the roster, to be honest, because there's a loaded wide receiver room. And he's just been quiet. It is what it is. It was a 6th round pick, and those guys just ain't going to hit all the time. Kiki has been having a good camp. Kiki is a training camp warrior, man. This man always looks good in camp. He's just got to be consistent in games, man. He's going to be one of the main guys I'm watching for in preseason. The slot battle between him and Anthony Miller is going to be huge. And I've been wanting to make an Anthony Miller video for you guys for so damn long, but like I said, all 22 is down, which means the film is down, and I can't see a good angle of the wide receivers and get you guys a real good look into what could be going wrong, why he had down years in Chicago. So it's so important for wide receivers, so I just want to do it right. If I'm going to give you all a video on him, I want to do it right. So that's why you haven't seen an Anthony Miller video yet. But Kiki's been having a good training camp, getting open at will. Alex Erickson's apparently been having a good camp. He has really high flashes, but he just hasn't able to really put it together in meaningful snaps. So let's see how he does in preseason. But I think he's one of the guys who could possibly be, wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6, especially because he does stuff on special teams. Damon Hazleton, UDFA, I don't like his game too much. I don't think he's going to make it. Anthony Miller, same thing with Kiki QT. Him and QT have been showing off their athleticism, getting open, and looking good in that slot wide receiver position, man. I really like the upside bet we placed on Miller, and I hope he can win that starting role, man. I believe in him. I do. It's crazy. He's older than Kiki. That's funny. I think Chris Moore has a good chance of making this because of his relationship with Cully on the Ravens and how he's a good special teams guy. He's been quiet in training camp, but he's a special teams guy, so I don't really expect much. Andre Roberts, I haven't heard a peep out of him. Kind of forgot he was on the team, to be honest. But return guy, he's definitely going to make the team. And I don't think BZ will. So, in terms of wide receivers that are going to make the team, obviously you got Nico Collins. Damn, I just passed over Chris Conley like that. My bad, dog. I'm losing my voice already. My bad, Chris Conley. But he's been one of the other stars in Texans training camp. Like I mentioned earlier, like the top 5 guys, it's been Nico. It's been Chris Conley. It's been Charles. It's been Jordan Jenkins. And who else? Probably Charlie Heck in the past few days. Those have really been the guys who've been standing out to me. But Chris Conley, man, he's going to make that wide receiver 2 position a battle because he's the wily veteran, man. He's had some good seasons with the Jags. He's fast. He's still pretty tall at 6'3". So he gives you that height that Nico also gives you. But he's just a veteran. And so the coaching staff might trust him more over the rook. And he's been splitting first team reps, man, with Nico. So it'll be very interesting to see that battle. I think he's definitely going to make the team for sure. And I think he'll start early on. But Nico should take his job within 4, 5, 6 weeks. But Nico going to make it. Chris Conley, Brandon Cooks. I think Kiki's making it. I think Erickson's making it. I think Miller's making it. I think Moore's making it. And then I think Roberts is making it. So that's 8. So maybe it's between Erickson and Moore who won't make it. So probably Erickson won't make it. I don't know. It depends, man. It really depends. But it's up between those 2 guys. And that'll be 7 wide receivers. That's usually how much people take, especially when one of them is a pure specialist. Like Andre Roberts is. Nico for wide receiver 1. Trying to give Nico Moss's number. Hey, man. They have some similarities. I'm gonna say he's Randy Moss, but they got some similarities. They do. Kiki the Colts killer. Hey, we'll cut him for training camp, but then once we go play the Colts, we'll call him back. We'll give him a little 1-game deal. Yes, sir. Took Coulter over DPJ. We'll regret it. We'll regret that. I regret it. I want a DPJ so badly. Donovan Peoples-Jones, the other Michigan wide receiver back in the 2020 draft class. He was falling, man. Went to the Browns. I know he's had a lot of off-field stuff, and so that's why he fell, because, the Texans and off-field stuff. You got to be a saint. But yeah, I would have liked Donovan Peoples-Jones as well. And imagine him and Nico working together. That would have been fun for sure, my guy. Ugh, it's all good. Jalen Hurts, future Texan. Hey, you never know, man. But we got to wait till the end of the season. George says, if you'd have to draft one Texans player in fantasy this year, who would it be? Ooh. If we're not doing like defense and stuff like that, like just pure offense, it's got to be Phillip Lindsay. Or Brandon Cooks. Those guys should be your best bets for sure. I mean, Cooks, I don't know that he's going to put the touchdowns, but he'll get the yards. And Lindsay should get the reps and some big plays to kind of boost his average per game. So those would be my guys. I think your dark horse is definitely Nico. I think he's a guy you want to keep an eye on the waiver wire for sure. But speaking of fantasy, I want to do fantasy leagues with y'all. I'm going to be doing it with the Texans Slots team members. If you want to join the team, get exclusive content, get access to our exclusive Discord, you get to talk to me and all the boys on the team, then hit that link in the description, man. Join the team. And we're going to do a bunch of fantasy leagues for sure. Some will be paid, some will have higher price points, some will probably be free. But yes, sir. H-Town all day. I don't know why the volume is not good for some people, but it's good for most. It was bad for everyone a few streams back, I'll admit it, and then I seem to have fixed it. But now I'm seeing that some people, it's still bad for them. So I'm very confused. Very confused. I'm a quiet talker by heart, but I thought it was better. My bad. Let me try and see my my settings. Let me try and see my audio settings. Did anything change? Sound, master volume's at 100. Everything's at 100. Sounds fine. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll share my... Okay. Well, that's going to conclude the stream. Because my camera is burning up. It's too hot in this room. If you haven't been noticed, I've been drenched. Like I just took a freaking shower, man. It's perfectly fine here. Okay. It might just be on your end, H-Town all day. I apologize. But yeah, it seems like it's good for the majority. And it's all my settings are fully up on my end. So I apologize though. But yeah, that's going to do it for the stream. My camera is literally telling me to get off. Have a good night, y'all. Have a good week. Texans football in 9 days, baby. Let's go.